Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to the channel for a speed build. This is a build that I've entitled Desert Oasis, and that's mainly because, well, it's built in the middle of a desert-looking area, of course, Oasis Springs, and Oasis, I'm pretty sure, wasn't inspired initially by the fact that it was built in Oasis Springs, but instead inspired by the fact that there's this really lovely like pool area out the back, and the home I think just turned out so nice that I thought it would be kind of like this lovely, well air-conditioned oasis from the more arid and hot temperatures that Oasis Springs seems to have. So I've been thinking a lot here recently about the way that seasons is going to impact the worlds that we have in The Sims 4. I'm sure that that's a thought on everyone's minds at this point, because we have had it confirmed that there won't be a new world, as you guys have probably heard, in The Sims 4 seasons, which I'm surprisingly okay with, but we can talk about that here in a second. But we do know that while there will not be a new world, the time that the devs seem to would have devoted to making a new world was instead devoted to making sure that all of the current worlds that we have in the game at the moment will look perfect in all of the seasons that we'll be getting with seasons. So super excited about that. I cannot even tell you, like I said, how okay I am that we're not necessarily getting a new world, because I love the idea of getting a new world. I hope we get another one here pretty soon. Love Brindleton Bay. I actually love a lot of the worlds that we have currently. I think that they're all amazing, but of course, always excited for new content in that sense from The Sims 4. But I'm also really kind of glad, to be honest with you, that they decided to devote that time and those resources instead to making the current worlds perfect in seasons. I'm actually totally okay with that. So you guys have to let me know what you think about that. Not sure why I just went on that little ramble there. I don't know. Like I said, I just have been inspired recently to think about what the different worlds are going to look like in their respective seasons, and I just cannot wait to experience that when the game, or not the game pack, it's actually an expansion pack when it finally comes out. So yes, cannot wait, absolutely cannot wait. So I was kind of thinking about, Oasis Springs, obviously, and I imagine, obviously I don't know this for sure because the expansion has not been released just yet, but I imagine that Oasis Springs is going to be a world that won't experience winter very well. I could totally be wrong on that. Like, watch me be completely wrong when the expansion finally comes out. But I imagine it to be a place that is very impacted by the heat. Like, it might experience more heat than any of the other worlds, if that's a thing when the game, or guys, I keep saying game pack. It's not going to be a game pack, it's an expansion. When this expansion pack comes out, when it finally gets here, I imagine that Oasis Springs will be very impacted by the heat. And at the same time, this is kind of like a random off-the-wall thought, but I actually did not have a YouTube channel when Jungle Adventures came out. I started my YouTube channel even after my first pet stuff came out, the pack we don't talk about. So I didn't really get to ride the hype that Jungle Adventures brought to the community as far as like build buy goes and things like that. And while of course I've used the items from the pack in my builds and such up until this point, I never really got to build something. I've never taken the time, I guess, to build something that I thought was just very well inspired by that pack. And so this is kind of like a mixture of a lot of things. I think I sat down with this not exactly knowing what I wanted to do, but just being inspired by a couple of more slight ideas, I guess, the couple that I've mentioned with the weather in Oasis Springs and the fact that I wanted to use a lot of Jungle Adventure, and I kind of just went from there. So really love how this house ends up turning out. I really hope you guys enjoy it as well. Let me just tell you a little bit about the specs of the actual build before I just go into yet another ramble, because I know a lot of people like to know those sorts of things right off the bat. But this ends up being a 3-bedroom, 5-bathroom home. At least one of those bathrooms is a half bath, if you care. I don't know if you care. Actually, no, I take that back. 2 for sure are half baths, and the others have showers or bathtubs or whatever. But yeah, it's a pretty spacious home. I guess I could have technically fit in more bedrooms, but you'll see here in a while, I devote a lot of the space in the living area to a mezzanine level, and that of course could have been used for another bedroom or two, but I thought it looked a lot better as a mezzanine level, and I hope you guys will agree. They're kind of over there in that area where those large modern windows went in just a little while ago, and I love that area of the house so much. So I'm very glad that I decided to just do what I did with it and not sacrifice the fact that we could have had more bedrooms instead, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is a 3-bedroom, 5-bathroom home, pretty large, has a ton of actual living space as well. The kitchen in this house is probably one of the biggest I've ever made. It's so large and open, airy. In fact, that's kind of the feel I was going for with this house as a whole. I wanted it to be very open, very spacious, and to not be composed of too much clutter, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like the idea of a large home in such a hot climate would kind of call for large, open, kind of cool, airy type spaces. I don't know. I don't know where that idea came from, but that's kind of what I had in my head when I was building this. So not a ton of clutter items. The bedrooms tend to be more cluttered in my homes than any of the other living areas, and that kind of is the case with this one as well. But so yeah, the bedrooms are a bit more cluttered than, like, say, the gym area, of course. But yeah, I was actually going for a bit of a clutter-free look in this house as well. This house was also built on a 40 by 30, in case you happen to wonder about that. It is a bit of a larger lot there in Oasis Springs. I can't exactly remember the name of the lot, but it is definitely over on, like, the left area of the map when you're looking at the whole of Oasis Springs, and it's on a lot that kind of overlooks this valley that sits below it, and it's a beautiful area. I love it so much. And there's like half green and half pure sand on this lot as well, so it was kind of a weird one to decorate and landscape, especially. You'll see that toward the end of the video. I actually had a little bit of a struggle doing the landscaping, but I feel like we got there in the end, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So yeah, that's this house, guys, pretty much in a nutshell. I have, of course, put together the entire structure of the house by now. I did a lot of skipping because it took me ages to figure out how to actually put together the outside. I was kind of building this loosely inspired by a reference photo I found on Pinterest, and so it took me a long time to kind of get it looking the way I hoped. Also, it took me forever to find good windows to put in this house, because I knew I wanted to use some of the Jungle Adventure windows, which I do, but you know, obviously I couldn't just use Jungle Adventure windows and have it look the way I wanted it to fit in Oasis Springs, because Oasis Springs has a lot of base game windows and things like that, if that makes sense. So as you can see, I did use a lot of base game windows. You can see a few there kind of in that living room area there just a second ago, and then now here in the dining room where we're working at the moment. So I wanted those kind of really pretty curved windows as well. I don't think I've ever used those in a build up until this point, at least not to the extent that they are in this build. So I just think that all looks really nice when it all turns out, and I hope you guys enjoy the look of it as well when we kind of get to the end. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the technical stuff I have to say about the house. I'm sure, like I know for sure I will have other things to say when we come to certain parts of the build later on, but for now I just wanted to talk about something specific. So for one thing, this may very well be the only build video you're seeing from me this week, and I'm sorry about that in advance. To be completely frank with you, I normally do a lot of my recording and editing and like creating thumbnails and things like that on the weekends, because I do work quite a bit throughout the week, and I just don't normally have the time during the day, and I normally am way too tired at night to come home and to work on YouTube things. If I do anything YouTube related in the evenings, like when I get off work, it's normally just building or gameplay. That's pretty much all I do. I don't normally do anything else. I just have already uploaded my videos and we go from there, kind of a thing. So because this last weekend was my birthday, I had my birthday on Saturday, and that was a really, really fun day. Because of that and a couple of plans and things I had going on, I didn't have the chance to do as much editing and things like that I normally would have through the course of a Saturday. So I really didn't want to spend the entire day on Saturday putting videos and things like that together, even though that's something I really enjoy a lot. I kind of just had other stuff going on, which I think is understandable. You know, it's my birthday, so so that was that. But then also on Sunday, I was kind of unexpectedly called into work. And I'm talking about that kind of in a strange way to me right now, because it's currently Sunday when I'm recording this voiceover. You won't be seeing this build until probably Tuesday, maybe Thursday. It just depends. Those are the 2 days I normally upload builds on the channel, so I haven't really decided yet which day I'm going to post it. Regardless of which day you're seeing it, it could just be like months and months in the future. I don't know. But essentially, that's why there will probably just be a single build video on this channel this week, unless I just somehow pull a miracle and manage to squeeze out one more. I don't even know where it would come from, to be honest with you, because I have completed an entirely separate build that I was going to upload this week, but there are so many hours of footage to go through that I just, like I said, just didn't want to touch it on my birthday. So that was not a thing. Just a heads up, in case you care, I really try not to bind myself too strictly to a schedule. I've mentioned this before, I'm a pretty type A person, so anything I do tends to be pretty structured, and even though I've said before that I don't really want to say that I have a certain schedule. I still kind of stick to one pretty frequently. There is even one kind of tentatively laid out over on the About section of my channel page as well, if you're ever curious as to the frequency of my uploads or when I might be uploading a certain thing, what day, things like that. But yeah, so I try not to hold myself to that too much though. I tend though to just stick to it pretty frequently, if that makes any sense at all. So like, I'm not disappointed in myself like this week when I can't exactly get out the uploads on the days that I've kind of been planning to get them out. But at the same time, it's something I try to do if I can. So for what it's worth, there's some information for you guys if you're wondering why there may be just only the one build this week. And I hope that that's okay because, I had a great weekend this last weekend and yeah, good stuff. I don't even remember if I said this earlier. I was saying how today that I'm recording this is a Sunday. I don't even remember what I ended up saying about the day itself, but I was called into work today as well. I think I might have said that. I don't know, guys. I'm so bad about moving past a sentence and then completely forgetting what that sentence was. Like, I have it in my head that I might have wanted to say a certain thing, and then I don't remember if I said it or not. So that's why my time just this weekend as a whole has been kind of limited. Birthday Saturday, called into work unexpectedly on Sunday, and so I just haven't really ended up with a ton of time on the weekend. And of course, I go back to work on Monday, just like it's a regular old week, because that's how that works when you're trying to adult. But that's okay. I really enjoy my job, and it's not a problem when you enjoy your job. So there's that. But yeah, I just wanted to put that piece of information out there just in case it impacts any of your lives. I highly doubt it will, but I like information, so I like to give information when I have it. So there's that. So I mentioned, that I would probably have some things to say about this house kind of as we go. And one thing I do want to mention right now is just kind of a fun thing I've been doing in my personal time. Now, I just got done telling you guys that I barely have any personal free time to play The Sims or anything at the moment because I've just come past a very busy weekend and a lot of my time during the week is also full. But here in just the last, couple of days at this point, I have been playing a kind of a current household family in my spare time. Now, this is not the song family that you guys see my updates on Saturdays. This is not the Lyrics Legacy Challenge. I am still playing that, but kind of just, here and there when I have the time, when I have the mood, that sort of thing. But I've also been playing I guess you could say like a secondary current household. Is it such a thing to have more than one current household at the same time? Because they're technically still current. They're just, being played concurrently. I don't know. So anyways, I am playing another household entirely kind of at the same time as playing the Lyrics Legacy Challenge, and that is with the Goth family from the original base game of The Sims. Now, this is kind of unconventional. Now, a lot of people have played with the Goth. I'm not saying that that's this new idea, but I kind of wanted to, let me back up for a second. So I've always kind of wanted to play with the Goth family, but I've always really been intimidated by the fact that they have this this massive backstory. They're iconic, right? The Goths are present in some way, shape, or form, to the best of my knowledge, in every Sims franchise, well, in every Sims game. They might not be the same age that they are now, and the storyline might be a little bit different, because I understand that the Sims 4 Goth family timeline is kind of like an alternate timeline to that of other games. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Bella and Mortimer are children when the Sims 3 base game, when you first start a new save in the Sims 3, like in Sunset Valley. I could be wrong there, guys. I know I'm dabbling into territory that I probably have no idea about, but So I know that there is some way, shape, or form that they're present in every Sims game, to the best of my knowledge. And there's a lot of baggage that comes with the Goth family sometimes, because at least in The Sims 4, the impression you always get from maybe the way that other people play their stories, or machinimas and things like that, Bella's always kind of she always kind of has a wondering eye, and she and Mortimer really aren't that happy. And he's an adult and he wants to be a writer. He's in the writer career, and she's a young adult, and I believe she's in the secret agent career, and she kind of has interests of her own, I guess. And they have two children, of course, Cassandra and Alexander. Cassandra is a teen and Alexander is a child. And that's kind of a lot of how I see Goth family gameplay in the majority of arenas, I guess you could say. And like I said, that just comes with a lot of baggage to me, because of the fact that, Bella might have a wandering eye, and they're supposed to have these marital problems and things like that, and they already have children. And I don't want to mess with Sims canon or anything like that, because I don't exactly know how much of that story is Sims canon, but I've taken a very long time to tell you that what I decided to do for my own personal gameplay, utilizing the Goth family, is I aged Bella and Mortimer. I made sure that they were both young adults. So like I said, Bella's already a young adult. I aged Mortimer down to a young adult so that they could be a little bit closer to the same age, because like I said, I have the feeling that that's how it is in The Sims 3, that they're both kids. So I don't know why in The Sims 4 Mortimer are so much older than Bella, supposedly. Now you guys tell me like what I'm missing there. If I'm missing something, like please do. I would love to hear like what is actually correct if I'm incorrect. But long story short, I aged them down to be both the same age. I gave them complete makeovers, and I deleted their kids. Guys, I deleted Cassandra and Alexander. I totally did. Don't hate me. I love their family so much. I've used Cassandra and Alexander both in like my own personal gameplay and things like that. Like I've married them into my sim families and things like that. I have nothing against their kids. But like I said, you know, they already seem like they're so advanced in their life, and I kind of wanted to give them a fresh start. So you might be completely wondering why I'm talking about this in the middle of a build video. I promise it's going to be relevant here in like 2 seconds, probably more like 5 minutes, because that's how long it'll take me to like get to the point. But long story short, aged them down, deleted their kids, gave them makeovers, and started them off in kind of like a brand new scenario. So like I moved them out of Oasis. No, they live in Willow Creek. I moved them out of Willow Creek. They're both young adults living in the city in an apartment. And like I said, it's just the two of them. They are of course married in like when you're first starting off, and I didn't exactly want to like divorce them or delete their relationships entirely and start from scratch. That would have been kind of cool. But if they've known each other from kids, then you know that wouldn't exactly be realistic for them to just meet suddenly as young adults. So I kind of been playing with their family in my own personal gameplay, like I said. And so they started off in the city, and I went ahead and just like took it slow, built up their relationship. You know, they've done like a lot of cute things. Like they've gone on date nights, and I'm pursuing Mortimer's career as a writer. He might eventually in my gameplay quit the actual career and just write from home, because I think that would be a really cool thing to do. And you know, it's something that can earn a lot of money. As we all know, writing books in the game, as long as you do it consistently, can earn you like a ton of simoleons every day. And Bella currently is in my game, is in the secret agent career still. I don't even remember what level she is. She's kind of advanced. She's midway at least. But at the same time, I've also kind of had them start a family as well. And so, like I said, since I deleted their children, we're kind of starting from scratch. And the children that they have in my game are not Cassandra and Alexander. So far, they have had 2 kids in my personal gameplay. And I think Bella right now is expecting their 3rd child, which again is so weird. What's even funnier about that is the fact that they actually had a girl and then a boy. So their oldest child still is a girl, even though it's not Cassandra. And then their next child is a boy, even though he's not Alexander. So I just think that that's kind of funny that they still had kids in that order. But long story short, the reason that it's even remotely relevant to this video, even though it's not technically, sort of, is the fact that when their family began to expand and grow and they had earned enough money, I actually moved them into this house. So there you go, guys. That's the takeaway from this entire story, this multi-minute story that I've just been telling you, is that I've been playing the Goth family in my current household, kind of just for fun, and starting over with just Bella and Mortimer, and they have currently had 2 kids, 1 on the way, and that they're living in this house. So I was really excited to actually play in one of my own houses, because I just love the way that this turned out so much. And for some reason, I just felt like it kind of fit the style that I think Bella and Mortimer have cultivated in my gameplay. It wouldn't for sure the way that the Goths come in the original base game. Like they're very kind of highbrow. They like their large home. And this is a large home, don't get me wrong, but they like to be surrounded by very obvious wealth, I guess you could say. And so for that reason, I just think it's kind of cool that in my gameplay they've kind of switched over to slightly different personalities, and that this type of home could actually fit them. So yeah, that is, again, that was the purpose of that entire story that I just told you guys. I don't exactly know what I'm going to do for them when they have their 3rd child, because like I said, currently there are only 3 bedrooms in this house. I just so happen to have made a master and then a room for a girl and then a room kind of for a boy. It could also be for a girl though. We're not even to that point yet, but I really like the way that it turned out. It's actually the room we're working on right now, but the room that we're working on right now ends up having like a pretty, I just love this room so much. I love the way it turned out. It has this really cool like bluish green kind of, I don't know, like aqua type color scheme. I don't even know, but the items that end up going in this room are just so awesome. I'm so excited to like be able to develop the character of the child who is now living in this room. And just kind of one last note, maybe on that whole thing that I was just telling you guys about. If you would ever, I know that you're watching this video probably because you enjoy builds, but it's possible that you also enjoy the gameplay that I've been sharing on the channel as well. So if that's you, then let me know in the comments if you would like to see possibly like a little mini current household update on that as well. I don't know how long I'll be playing their family, but I'm not bored yet. And I've been playing them for several days at this point, and that's kind of a win for me because usually I will know really quickly if I'm going to be interested in a family or not. It's not common for me to play something other than a legacy for more than a few days at a time. And so we're kind of getting to that point where I think I might actually be interested enough in the storyline that I'm developing with the new like Goth Family 2.0 that, yeah, that maybe it just might stick around. We'll just have to see though. So let me know if that's something you might end up enjoying wanting to see on the channel or something like that, because I'm more than happy to do that. It's possible that if that happens, it would take the place just temporarily of a song family update with my Lyrics Legacy Challenge. But like I said, I'm still playing and enjoying that family pretty well as well. Actually, just this last weekend, we put out update number 10, and when I recorded that update, I just couldn't believe the fact that we had already reached the double digits of that update. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier in this video, but in my own personal gameplay here for the last, well, like about 10 weeks or so, 10 or 11 weeks, I have been playing the Lyrics Legacy Challenge in The Sims 4, and it's a challenge that I'd never heard of before actually coming across it myself. And I was captivated by the idea of a new challenge because I was looking for something new to do. And I've really enjoyed playing that family so much. So if you're interested at all in seeing what that challenge is about and what I've done so far with that family, we have already reached well, at this point, in just a little sneak peek for you guys, at this point in my own personal gameplay, which you'll see this upcoming weekend, we have completed Generation 7 and we have fully progressed into Generation 8. And so I have been playing this family like for a while as far as the actual generations go. So let me know if you'd like to see something like that as far as like the Goth family goes that I'm playing, or if I should just like, you know, keep it to myself in my own personal gameplay. If it continues on too much longer, I might consider doing a current household update on the Goth family, but we'll have to see. I would hate to update you guys like just once and then you never hear anything more about it after that because I've just decided to stop playing, so I don't know. But we have just moved past the bedroom that I said was my favorite that was actually the girl bedroom. We have moved way past the bedroom now that I said was my favorite, which is the one that ended up with like that island table thing with the computer. I just thought that looked amazing, and that room would be perfect for my style. Like I love everything in that room so much. I have a variety of styles, but I really just like the way that one turned out. And then the cute, like what I imagined to be for like a little girl's bedroom is also adorable, the one that we were just furnishing before now. And of course now we are on to finishing the master, which is pretty simple. I keep this one to be probably the most modern of the bedrooms in the home. Actually just more modern than any of the rooms in the home period. It has a lot of black and white. I've got those lovely floorboards from Jungle Adventure, which I enjoy using in my build so much, no matter what the build is. Like honestly, they're gorgeous. And another thing that like we've moved so far past now, it's not even funny. You guys might be like, what in the world are you talking about, Mariah? But in this build as well, you may have noticed that I use kind of a mixture of both the wooden flooring that I was mentioning a second ago from Jungle Adventure, and also a lot of tiling from Jungle Adventure as well, because I love the tiling so much that came in that pack. And so there are large areas of the home that just utilize the tiling, like the dining room, for example, and the kitchen, completely Jungle Adventure tiling, as well as like that whole backyard area and all of the bathrooms and all that good stuff. So, of course, now we're onto the landscaping, so I'm now going to talk about something that happened way earlier in the video that might not even make sense at this point. But there was also a room on the upper floor that was just down the hallway at the very end that was furnished as kind of like a skill building room. It was just kind of like a conglomeration of, I don't even remember what I put in there. Definitely musical instruments. I feel like there was like a gardening item in there as well. And then there was definitely an easel, if I remember correctly. So that is just really, like I said, the skill building room. And it opens up into this lovely balcony out on the outside of the house that overlooks the pool. And I just think it's so pretty. I love the way that turned out so much. And then now we're working on the landscaping in the front. I did something kind of weird here, guys. You'll have to let me know what you think about this, because I had absolutely no idea what to do with the landscaping here. So what I ended up doing was I did go ahead and make sure that the part here in the front was covered over completely with that grass type thing, because on each side it is grass as well. And then I went ahead and just put down some sand and then some trees, as you can see, and then I matched the flowers and the rocks and things like that, as well as I could with the landscaping that is just on the lot next to this house, which of course is not modifiable. It's just, you know, like, I don't know, it's like background landscaping, I guess you could say, in this world. And so I wanted to match this house a little bit with the surroundings, and that's what inspired this landscaping period, because I honestly do not know what I would have done had I not had that inspiration, because I have no idea how to furnish, not furnish, I have no idea how to landscape homes like this. I just have no clue even where to start, to be honest with you, because I don't know. I can do suburban landscaping all day long. Like, I have no problem with that, but all of my normal plants and things like that just didn't seem like they fit in this house. Like, it didn't seem like it would work at all for what the style that I was going for. So that trick with like the 3 trees and like those flower bushes and then some rocks and things scattered around, I actually used 2 more times in the backyard as well. Once along the side of the house and then once in the very back of the house, because I just kind of liked the way that it looked, and I thought that there wasn't any harm in just repeating that pattern as if they have a very well maintained, well manicured garden area. And of course, being that this is Oasis Springs, and like I said, I pictured this house being kind of like an oasis for the family that lives here. I had to put in a pool, kind of cool about that as well. In my personal gameplay that I mentioned a little while ago with the Goth family living in this house, I also put a water slide kind of there along the side, like right over to the left of where the pool is right now, in front of that gate area that comes into the backyard. We're not even like like kind of right over here where these flowers are going in. If my voiceover is in sync with the video, of course there's a possibility it's not, but I put a little water slide in there in my personal gameplay, and that worked out really well as well. So if you guys are looking for a way to squeeze in that item from the backyard stuff pack, which I so rarely use it's not even funny, then that might be a way that you can do that. I kind of wish I had thought of that when I had created this build, but then that probably would have been like the only item from backyard stuff that was in this build, and I already use so many packs in it that it's not even funny. So, but like I said, Jungle Adventure, definitely a main one when it comes to getting this house. So guys, we're already onto the screenshots. That always seems like it goes by so quickly, even though this voiceover has already been like so long, it's not even funny. So lots of screenshots coming at you because this is a very large home, but I just want to thank you guys for tuning in today for the build as a whole. I always love getting to sit down and chat with you guys. And by sit down, of course, I mean stand up, because I'm standing here in front of my computer, even though I always insist that I'm sitting down. Oh, what a mess. Anyways, so yeah, guys, like I said, thank you so much for watching. If you did like the video, feel free to give it a like, because, you know, that always tells me that you enjoy my content and things like that. And guys, I cannot tell you how much I enjoy hearing from you in the comments as well. So if you'd like to comment down below and let me know what you think on anything I mentioned in this video, please let me know, because I would love that. I would love to talk to you guys down there. So yeah, guys, I will leave you off right here for the rest of the screenshots. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you very soon. Bye.
I'm so happy. I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy watching. I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy watching. I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy watching. I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy watching. I'm mesmerized by these eyes. I'm so happy.